So completing your electronic entry for the DV program, which we did yesterday. Yeah. So let's now tackle again the full. You must provide the following information to complete your entry. Failure to accurate include all the required information will make you ineligible for a DV. Okay, so number one is name. Okay, last family name, then first name, then middle name. That's the format, exactly as it appears on your passport. That's why I told you it's good to have a passport, even though it's not a requirement. It's good to have a passport because for example, if you apply green card today and you don't remember your names the way you wrote them, then you apply a passport, yeah, and then your name does not correlate with what is on your green card. So it means those are two people who applied for that job, for that green card. So then that disqualifies you. So it's good to have order, the same order you did on your green card, have it the same way, yeah. Yeah, so for example, if a passport shows only your first and last family name, please list your last family name and then first name. Do not include a middle name unless it is included in your passport. Yeah, I've had these questions a lot. Yeah, people asking me on my passport is 2 names and then should I write 3 names? No, just write exactly what is in your passport to save yourself the misery of missing this opportunity. Okay, so and then if your passport includes a first, middle name and last family name, please list them in the following order: last family name and then first name, then middle name. If you have only one name, it must be entered in the last family name. Okay, so if you have one name, for example, you just called Abdallah, don't write, even if it's your first name, don't put it on the first name, put it on the last name, which appears on the first box. Okay, so then this is gender. Yeah, this part nowadays is confusing because people have other genders apart from male and female, but that is what is provided there. So you have to identify yourself either as a male or female. Yeah, it's nowadays, you know, things are changing. So yep. So birth date. In America, we write our day, our date different. We start with day, month, year. Okay, so I know you're used to month, day, then year, but just check out how it's supposed to be written so you don't confuse. You don't write your month or your year before the day. Every country has their way. Chinese writes the year first. Yeah, so yep. So let's see. And then city where you're born. City where you're born, I've had some people have questions with this. City where you're born it doesn't necessarily mean because every place has a nearest city. You live next to a city. Like if you live in the outskirts of Nakuru, then Nakuru becomes your city. If you were born in, personally, all my stuff I wrote Uasin Gishu was my city, though Uasin Gishu is a district. It's not even a city because nobody checks. They just want to see your location, where you're coming from. Nobody checks. Yeah, me, I've always written all my applications here. I've always written Uasin Gishu. I don't write Eldoret. I write Uasin Gishu because that's what is on my ID. Okay, but ID is not required here at all. You only use your passport. And then country where you were born. Use the name of the country currently used for the place where you were born. Okay, and then country where you are born is also the country of eligibility. Yeah. So if somebody was born in Nigeria, then that's their born place and also the place of their eligibility. They will check where you were born. Your country of eligibility will normally be the same as your country of birth. Your country of eligibility is not related to where you live, okay? Sometimes we move, like people are in US, others are in Dubai, others in Qatar, others in Saudi. People are working in different countries, but you will write your country of birth. That's what they will determine your selection with. Okay, country of birth, which is country of eligibility. Okay, now number 7 is very, very important. Entrant photographs. Okay, they need a recent photograph taken within the last 6 months of yourself. Don't bring an old picture that they can't even tell who you are. Your spouse and all your derivatives, children included, or on your entry. Yeah. So, and then tomorrow we'll be talking about this digital photograph, because it's a huge topic and there's a lot determining factors when it comes to your photograph. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Okay. And then for compositional and technical specification, yes. So we will talk about the specification, the composition, how it should look like tomorrow. Okay. So the DV entry photograph must meet the same standard as US visa photos. Yeah? You will be ineligible for a DV if the entry photographs you and your family members do not fully meet this specification or have been manipulated in any way. So guys who are asking me if they can take pictures with phones, yeah, you see the way they are very strict with this picture. So I would not want you to miss out on anything. Yeah, so it's just good for you to just go to pay somebody to a photographer to pay to just do a good work, and then you don't have to worry about editing, about whatnot. Yeah. So, and then mailing address, yeah, which is in care of. So you write your city or address. Also you can, I've always told guys, if you don't have an address, you can use your school, old school, or church, or work, because there's nothing they will send on this address. It's just to see your location. Okay, and to confirm your location, and which is mostly on your passport. Behind your passport, your area is there, is behind your passport. There is a place where they write your place where you stay, if it's Nairobi, if it's where. Okay, and then country where you live today, that's where you work. If you live in Qatar, that's where you work. That's your country of where you live today. Then phone number is optional, because they will not call you. And these other websites that I was warning you against, they will tell you leave the phone numbers, will call you, will contact you. The US government does not contact anybody on phone. Okay. So, and then email address. Email address is the most important thing. That's why it repeats itself twice on the green card application, because that's where the Department of the State will never send you email telling you that you have been selected for the DV. They will just let's see, I wanted to see this. Yeah, if you check the entrance status, check in May, okay, you will later receive the following up email communicating from the Department of State details with details visa available. Okay, so that's the place where they will send you the confirmation number. Okay, so you need to make sure you have it and keep it safely. Okay, then highest level of education, you have achieved. Okay, highest level. Let me see if these guys are still here. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys, I appreciate you. If you have questions, please bring them. We will. Somebody is asking here, if one is in the US, can he or she apply for someone not in the US? Yes, but they will just check. With your area of eligibility. Like if you're applying for somebody who is in Kenya, they will not notice that it's you who applied for them. Okay, it's the place of birth. That is what it will count. Okay, so the place of eligibility, that's what will, whether you are in the US, whether you are where, your place of eligibility, that's what they will look for. Because as we've read, green card is given by the regions. Yeah, so Africa is slotted this amount. So even if you're in the US, your region, your home region, that's what they will look at. Okay. Yeah, let's moving on swiftly. So I see also you can shoot your questions. I am on Instagram as well. So let's see. And if the names are David, Calvin, Mwangi, Moirori, how will I write this? Hey, brother, you have 5 names. Hey. Where there are 3 slots. There's 3 slots there. So unless you squeeze 2 names in one box, I don't know how you can. As long as they appear the same way in your passport, you have to squeeze those names somewhere in one box. But make sure the surname is the one that begins. Yeah, because hey, the person who made these green card rules, they are not from Africa. They didn't know that we name our children 17 names. They only know 3 names, but in Africa, we do what Africans do. Yeah, we are different, Bana. We are a different breed. Yeah. So moving on swiftly. Let's move on. Yep. Yeah, so we are here on the highest level of education. Yeah. So so this is very simple, because number 12, you just know where you fall. If you did primary school, just check on primary school. Okay. If you did primary school and some high school, just write some high school, no diploma. Okay. It means, when they say no diploma, it means if you graduated, if you got your KCSE, for example, if you come from Kenya, you did your final exam. Okay. And then high school diploma, it's very straightforward, this part. It's whatever you accomplished in terms of school, that's what you put. Okay. This one is not complicated. You know what you have. And by the way, when you're applying this, there's no proof that you will require, but maybe the time you'll now be going for the embassy interview, they might require some of the proofs, like for your school, yeah, for your spouse, your marriage. When you're applying, there's nowhere you are uploading these things, but the time you will need them is when you go to the embassy, if you win. Okay. And then current marital status. Okay. Number 1 is unmarried. Okay. Number 1 is unmarried. Yeah, basically you are single. I don't know why they are using complicated words here. Unmarried is you are just single. You are kimudu, umesimama tu peke yako. Yeah. And then the other one is married and my spouse is not a US citizen. Okay, or US lawful permanent residence. Okay. Then number 3 is married and my spouse is a US citizen or US lawful permanent residence. Number 4, if you're divorced. Okay. Number 5, widowed. Okay. And all these things, for when you're answering the green card, is just a pass question. Is just a pass question. But if you answered something like you said you're widowed and you have children who are your dependent, that's when you will require now, if you're widowed, you will bring now a death certificate of your spouse. Okay. Because you cannot migrate with children and you are just a single parent. They have to know if you have the permission to go with those kids. Yeah. So, and then a photograph of your spouse meeting the same technical specification as your photo. Okay. So photo, we are rotating around that title many times.